Welcome into your reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down some cards with you. So, we have our three piles. Pick the pile or piles that you are drawn to, and I will see you in your reading. Welcome in, pile one. Let's get into your reading. So, you picked Dream Journal. This is actually one of your self-cares for the week, so we will get back into that. For right now, let's get into your cards for the week. So, the energy that you have for the week, we start with light and third eye chakra. So, part of the energy of your week seems to be very warm, very light. It seems like there may be some joy this week, some happiness. You may feel some renewal this week. You may have a light shown on things, have pathways opened up to you, have direction shown to you, have things illuminated to you that you may not have known that you need to know, information that you may need to know, because you have the third eye chakra with that as well. Part of what may be illuminated may be through your intuition or your clairs or from like psychic downloads or you know sitting or channeling or working somehow with your um, spiritual team or specific spirits or things like that. It may also be like doubling down on the idea of being able to see something very clearly or being able to understand something in a way that you haven't been able to understand it. And like I said, the light card, especially in this deck, it's representative of the sun card in a traditional tarot deck, and so it brings this like free energy. It brings this energy of feeling happy and like things are going your way and feeling successful and being able to move on things. So like all of that comes in with these two cards that we have. Let's pull some more cards and see what other energy we may have going on this week. Okay, so we're still using the psychic tarot. Let's see if there's anything else coming up for pile one. Have the waiting game with the heart chakra and then the hope card. Okay. So we have more light here, okay? Within the hope card. This is like very similar energy with the light card. This is actually would traditionally be the star card. So there's something that it seems to me like we're hoping to happen or hoping to get done this week or hoping um, is in motion or we're kind of praying for something or we're like sitting in faith about something that like we want success in, we want to happen, we want to receive something like that. There may also be this energy of you just being more optimistic, more hopeful this week, more knowing that things are lining up for you, more able to see the positivity you're putting into life, into the world in action. You then have the waiting game and the heart chakra. And I feel like those things come together, and it may have to do with this thing over here that you're like wanting really badly or passionate about or wanting success with or really hoping comes through in the way you want it to. This may be telling you that like not to say that it won't happen because that doesn't feel like that's what this is saying, but it feels like part of what it's saying, it may be that you have to wait or it may not happen this week, or there may be like aspects of it or levels to it, you know what I mean? So it's like having to kind of sit through the process of things in some aspects or in some situations. In some situations this may have to do with like situations that have to do with love or relationships, and this a little bit of this to me feels like ghosting. A little bit of this to me feels like being unsure of like where you want to go and what you want to do in a situation with dealing with relationships, whether that's a love relationship or like somebody that you love in a non-romantic way. It feels like there is a level of either unknown aspects of things, or a level of needing to like make a decision on things after you kind of get information on something. So like that could be part of this energy that comes in this week as well. But like I said, it also could have to do with what we're trying to grow, manifest, have take off here. That is kind of saying that like it's gonna take a little bit more time to have it happen than it going through the way you like as quickly as you want it to this week, or for it to be completely finalized this week. The last thing that I was thinking of in terms of these two cards is that you may have to wait a little longer for something that you love to like work or to come to you. And I feel like I kind of already said this with like the situation we were talking about over here. But part of this to me with the waiting in this pile has to do with needing to heal some more, or needing to like work through some things some more that have to do with your heart space, situations you've gone through, um, uh, loss or grieving or hurt or something like that. And that's part of why it may take a little bit longer, because you have a little bit more work to do in terms of like the healing you need to do before you're able to like flourish in the space that you may want to be in sooner than that. You know what I mean? So that is a little bit of what I'm getting from the energy of our week. Let's transition into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so moving into some specific things that may happen, we are using the Neo Tarot for this. Okay. The Ace of Cups. Is there another one? Ace of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Five of Wands. The Fool. And the Page of Pentacles. That was upside down, but I'm gonna just put it right side up. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Five of Cups. Okay. So starting with our Ace of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups to me is immediately I thought of your cup running over, right? Like I said before, you feel really fulfilled this week. There are people that are feeling really good. There are people that are feeling really peaceful. Things are really going your way. You feel positive. It feels like you just there's a calm energy to you, right? There's no ripple in this pool. There's the lotus flower there, so it feels like you have a spiritual alignment. You feel like emotionally and physically like everything is going and flowing your way. So I really like this energy for some people this week. Then you have the Knight of Wands. So it's like not only are things feeling good for people, but people are feeling motivated. People are really trying to get shit done. People are feeling like they want to get things done. You're feeling like a fire under your ass in a sense. It feels like there are like projects and things that people are trying to work on. There's an energy of like action and speed and motion and movement that comes in here, that also comes in with the Five of Wands of like wanting to share your opinions, wanting to kind of get out what you think and kind of go back and forth with people in a like a good debate kind of way, it feels like with this. But like I said, both of these cards feel very similar. And then you have this person with the black suit on with the wand, and these people with the black suit. So it's like, it feels like these two cards, this person was coming from this situation, leaving with their idea or either what they came out with, you know what I mean? And having it feel successful, or having it feel really good, like having it feel like on track to how you want it to go, or like it's a really good start or something like that. So that's very specific to some people. Be mindful with the Knight of Wands of like being really gung ho to start some shit, and kind of like pushing out all your energy in the beginning, and not having like the energy or the attention span to like finish it, you know what I mean? Like so try to preserve your energy, and or keep the same momentum. The Knight of Wands card, especially for people who are Leos, Aries, Sagittarius. I feel like we're those. I say weird because yes, I'm a Leo. I feel like we're definitely feeling this energy of like I gotta work, I gotta do, I want to get shit done, I want to, like like and that would be whether you're Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay. Then, like I said, we have the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands can be differing opinions. It could be different people wanting to do different things, or having counter ideas, or counter ways to go about a situation, or what I mean, having, like I said, a healthy debate, or in some cases arguments, you know what I mean. So that could be part of what comes up with the Five of Wands. Like I said, to me it feels more so about like sharing ideas, having like a think tank, or like being able to brainstorm with people, and kind of like vent, or like go back and forth, and work things out that way. I feel like it's less contentious, but because these are more fiery cards, they're wands, it could very well be contentious, you know what I mean? So for some people, but like I said, to me it feels a little bit less contentious in that way. The Fool card comes in again. There's this energy of you just feeling good, you wanting to do things, you not feeling like as stressed about the things that you have going on, you not being as fearful or as worried. The Fool card to me suggests that there are people that are just, like I said, feeling lighter, and more positive, or more amped to try shit this week. There's also this energy of just being carefree, and like I said, not holding on to things, not picking up the same things that you may normally pick up, that like we hold on to, or we carry, or we then have the energy around, you know what I mean, that like aren't either that big of a deal, or aren't something that we need to hold on to for as long as we are, or isn't ours to hold on to begin with. So I feel like part of that energy comes up with the Fool. You have the dog here, so there may be something to do with your animal friend or animal companion this week. They may play a role within like you feeling more carefree, or you just like not having such a tight energy, you know what I mean? There may be something that comes up with you and animals in general if you don't own a pet. Like it may be like a sign or something, like you interact with an animal, you know what I mean? Something like that. I saw randomly, it was like the the sky was like the it was like there was these leaves on the ground, but I immediately somehow zoomed in on this cardinal that was sitting on the ground that kind of blended in with everything, but I immediately saw it. And that to me was a sign, an omen. I actually need to look that up. But anyway, so like that's kind of what I'm speaking to. And then this person has on red. So you may see a cardinal or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But like that was part of what came up for me with the Fool. Also with the Fool, because we have these cards over here that are about doing things and like feeling more positive, there may be something that you want to like leap into, there may be something that you want to try that you haven't tried before this week. It may be like an extracurricular activity, because he has like the hula hoop on his arm when he looks like he's doing like dance or something kind of active. Like I said, it may be something you've never done before, because he's about to walk off the cliff, so it may be something completely brand new to you. But I feel like because you're in a more positive space, because you're feeling like really good about things, that this is a good time in general for you to, um, go out and try new things, or for you to sit with the idea of like what that looks like for you, or if that's even something that's available to you right now, and working with like why you may be scared to um jump into something unknown, or to go into something that's new, or that like whatever the energy is for you personally, that brings up that like energy of the Fool, of taking a leap, or like doing something that feels good, because the Fool is mostly about feelings, not so much about thought. It's about doing what feels good in that moment and going with it. So like that may be part of what you need to sit with this week as well. And then with the Page of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, I feel like similar to what I said in the energy cards, with these two cards specifically, it feels like what there may be some people who are expecting something to happen, or want something to come to fruition sooner than later, and it may not happen this week. And that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. You still have these two cups upright, but what you have next to it is the Page of Pentacles, and for it to be a page, it's like something new, or it's either like a new situation, or you're still a novice at it, or you don't have enough seniority or like time spent to be able to call in what you want, or to do what you want, or to get what you want in that way, or to move in the way that you want to, and that may be why something doesn't come to fruition in the way you want it to, or doesn't happen as quickly as you want it to, like we were talking about with the waiting game card. But I feel like part of you needs to come back and sit with it from a new perspective. And like I said, the perspective of you being at maybe a level a little bit under where you consider yourself, or recognize that there may be more time or skills, um, or something extra, or something more, I should say, put in before you can um, have it like work out the way that you want it to, or come to fruition in the way that you want it to. So this is what I'm getting from the cards that we have for this week. Let's transition into the best self-care for your week. Okay, so we start off with a dream journal. Let's, no, you know what? Okay, so we started off with a dream journal. Let's get a few more cards to see if there are any more okay. We have abundance planning and create art. Okay, so the first thing I noticed with all three of these cards is it's about writing, right? Technically, you can journal in any way, right? And art is not necessarily writing, but they're all using, in my head, the could use utensils, right? You could use a pen or a pencil, and it like could be written down on actual paper. Okay, so there's something about expression, there's something about tangibility, there's something about sharing, getting it out of your head, getting it down. There's something about like freeness to it, and allowing flow to happen, because in all of these things, you would allow the thing to flow out of you, okay, and not be necessarily so rigid about it, or be emotional about it in a sense. It would just be like something that comes out of you, something that would be more natural. You know what I mean? And so those are all the things that come up initially with these three self care cards. We have the dream journal, which you picked first. So you may be having very vivid dreams. You may be having dreams that are like very familiar to you. Like it may be like premonition type dreams where you see it later, or you have it happen later. It may be something where you're getting like very specific messages. It may be that you are somebody who doesn't normally remember your dreams, but you are remembering your dreams. Either way, if you are somebody who is dreaming right now and you're having very specific dreams, or whatever it is, they're telling you that one of the best things for you to do is to journal about it. So these are my tips. I have told you this before. If you have been here, if you've been in my readings, if you are a client of mine, you already know. This is how I suggest that we dream journal. So if you are somebody who likes to write, okay, you're going to leave the book, the pen, the paper, whatever it is, right next to you. If you are somebody who would rather, if you're like more of a text person, then you are going to have the notes, or whatever like notes kind of app that you use on your phone, have it open on your phone. Now I know that your phone's going to lock, we know that, but the thing about it is, when you first roll over, you want to kind of just grab whatever the apparatus is and start journaling with it, okay? And so if you're using your phone and you're using your notes or your voice memos, okay, you're going to put that shit on there before you go to sleep, okay? When you wake up, you're going to immediately grab your apparatus, your phone, your paper, your pen, whatever, and just start writing or saying whatever, typing whatever it is, what you can remember. It doesn't need to make sense to you. You just need to get it down, okay? Um, the other thing that I suggest to my clients, and I've suggested in other readings, is you do this immediately. You do not go pee, okay? You want to test this out? You want to try me? I've been doing this for years, my nigga. So you try it if you want to. You go ahead, you go pee, and then you tell me what you remember. It's nothing. You remember nothing. Okay, and I don't know why that is. I believe, my personal belief is because water is a conduit. And I feel like when you're asleep, the information gets stored somehow in the water inside of you. And then when you piss it out, it's gone. Just gone. There are very few times, unless it was like a real vivid ass or very specific ass traumatizing ass dream or something, that you remember after you pee. I don't know why. Like I just explained why I think it is. I don't know why for sure. Okay, but if y'all want to try it, Go pee and then tell me what you remember. And then don't pee the next day. And then, right, I'm right. I know. Anyway, let's move on. So that's what we have for dream journal. Definitely journal your dreams this week. Make sure you're getting rest because as of when I'm recording this, even though this is timeless reading, the time has changed. Okay. So people are feeling very not rested. Okay. People are not rested. They're feeling the time change. People are irritable from what I actually heard. There are studies that say after the hour gets taken, after we go an hour forward, there are more accidents. And that makes sense to me because people are fucking tired. You know what I mean? We're all fucked up. Our body, our clocks are messed up. But anyway, so make sure you're getting rest as of whenever you see this. Okay. Make sure you are journaling and writing down your dreams. And again, it doesn't have to make sense to you. It's important for you to write them down because at some point you're going to go back to it and it may all make sense then. It may piece together after you write down a couple of dreams and then you start to read it back and you realize, oh, this shit is, a message or a story or, makes sense altogether or something like that. So there's that. Then we have abundance planning. Okay. So abundance planning is not just what bills do I have? How can I pay my bills? Okay. Abundance planning looks at how you spend money, how you save money, how you make money. Okay. You look at all your bank accounts, your investments, you look at your loans, what debt you're carrying, things like that. And then you make a practical plan, right? You look at everything that's there and you work with what you have to make a plan, right? You could get a financial advisor, you could work with certain companies, or you could call like the people, your creditors yourself, and try to work with them, make payment plans, things like that. You could also talk to like a financial planner, or somebody that works in debt consolidation or something like that. Within abundance planning, though, we also, if it's available to you or something you want to do, look into ways in which you can bring in more money, right? So that you feel more financially secure, so that you have more ability to do the things that you want to do, whatever it is. And so you would sit and like think about that, write down the ways in which you could do that. You could have people help you think of things, that you could come up with, as well as you then write down the kind of like the goals that you would want, or like the dreams that you would have for yourself, right? And again, I say goals because even though they're dreams, it's not that they're not attainable, right? It's just that you may not be in the position right now to have that, but these are part of the things that you want to move towards. So those are all the ways that you can kind of abundance plan, and that's a little bit how you would go about abundance planning. You could definitely look more into this because I gave like a very like shorthand version of. So then we have create art, and the last part of this, to me, creating art has to do with flowing. It has to do with creating. It has to do with being in your like artistic mind, not so much of like data and numbers and science, but more so just like allowing things to flow out of you, using your hands, using colors, immersing yourself in like other mediums, expressing yourself with your voice and your hands, and not necessarily like, I don't know. I feel it feels more like feeling based, It just feels more feeling based. And we already talked about that in other cards this week. And I feel like that's part of it. There are also people who are artists. Like you do some kind of artistry, and or you are somebody who is interested in some kind of art. And like right now is a great time to get into it, to try it. Like I said, because of the attitude that you have, because of the energy that you're generating around you, this is a great time for you to just kind of put yourself into something, and try it. See if you like it, do it, not do it. But you don't like hold on to it right now, in the way that you might in a different space, you know? And there's something to just using your hands. There's something to using your voice. There's something to exploring different mediums and different ways of expressing the things that are inside of you, the things that you feel, the things that you're working through, right? And so that's what I get from this. And I feel like these are definitely self cares that we should put in practice this week, whether they're, it's one of them or all three of them in some different way. So, this is what I got for you, Pile One. Thank you so much for reading with me this week. Please let me know how this week is for you. how things are going, what you're feeling, how this all resonates. If you'd like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, follow me. If you aren't already subscribed to Tiny Musings, our podcast, where you get our tiny monthly collective reading, definitely subscribe to that on Substack, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Our part one of our tiny collective is out right now. Part two is coming in a few days. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you aren't already. Again, thank y'all so much for reading with me. I hope this all makes sense. I hope you apply some of this self care. And if you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile two to your reading for this week. No, why am I doing that? Welcome in pile two. Let's get into your cards. So, the card that you chose was Make a Vision Board. This is actually one of your self cares for the week, so we will get back into that later. Let's get into the energy of your week. So, the first card you have is Financial and Material Change, and then Rejoice and Celebration. So, the energy of your week feels good. It feels prosperous. It feels like there's energy for things to possibly change for the better. It feels like there's energy for you to possibly have something unexpected come in, something unexpected that you would appreciate, that would be something worth celebrating, that would show that you are successful, that would help you like spread some of that wealth around possibly. For some people, there's this energy of possibly losing something this week, or having something seemingly look like something negative, but actually turn out better than expected, or turn out to open up a different door, or to bring you to something else like immediately afterwards. Also, this could be two separate things. So, this could be something that changes, something that's taken, something that's removed or looks different, as well as something separate that is something worth celebrating, something that's being acknowledged, something that's coming, something or like a celebration with people, or getting together with people, or being able to kind of like fellowship, or in some cases, I just heard in my head, lick your wounds. So it may be like something happens and then you're able to like come together with people and kind of like get over it in a way, like you get with your people, you drink, you like laugh about it, and you're able to kind of like move through or heal that way. So this is a little bit of what I'm getting from these cards. Let's pull some more cards to get a little bit more of the energy for your week. Okay, so still using the Psychic Tarot. Okay, so discontent and boredom. We have the base chakra. We have patience and planning, awareness, and then moving on. Okay, so with the moving on card and the financial and material changes that we had, and also with the discontent and boredom, I definitely think that something may change this week, something may end, something may look different. You may decide you want to move on from something this week. You may make a decision on like moving on from something this week, or like ending it or something like that. It feels like part of it is something you've already known that needs to change, or needs to be removed or let go, or that was about to happen, if it's like a loss or something that's kind of out of your control in a sense. But it also feels like the part of the reason it's supposed to happen, or it is happening, is because you are not happy there. Like I said, in the move on card, there are people that recognize that they need to move on, and there's energy of being stagnant or feeling stuck, or not doing the things that actually make you happy, or like yeah, it's definitely that, or just feeling like you've outgrown a situation or something like that. There's energy this week it feels like also with the base chakra card that people are like thinking about your life, your stability, your foundations. Like it may be your home life, it may be like your rent or your bills, or it may be something to do with like your salary, or like what you're bringing in consistently or something like that, that may be heavy on your mind. Like I said, it may be people being feeling bored with specifically your jobs, or bored with where you're living now, or bored with how you're um like how you're making money or how your life looks, and really like becoming very aware of that right now, or sitting with the fact that you've already felt that, but um like feeling it heavier this week in a way. There may be something specific that happens, which is why you feel that way. It may have to do with the loss, but that also feels like part of it. And then, like I said, with the discontent and boredom, also people not like doing what's fulfilling. With that next to the rejoice and celebration card, and then both being green cards, it feels like you need to go out this week. You need to do something. You need to get out, shake your ass, get a drink, have some fun, have some laughs, whatever. Like whatever you actually like to do with other people, it feels like you need to go out and do that. Like the rainbow is out there, not inside here. You've been inside too long. You got to go and do things and be out. Okay. Um, you then have the patience and planning card. So it feels like, in a sense, it's like a transition of seasons for you. If you haven't already listened to the the monthly collective reading on Tiny Musings, March Collective Part 1, definitely go listen to that. We talk about this being us moving from our own winter to spring. And it feels like the patience and planning card is talking about that a little bit in reference to your foundations and your security. It may be a little bit more time before things kind of start to move the way that you want them to, especially if you've just experienced a loss or something like a setback. It may take a little bit of maneuvering. It may take like going back to the drawing board for some people. It may take just time for situations to change, or like energy to kind of change, for you to be able to have the flow that you want. Okay. So that is what I'm getting from our cards for the energy of this week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so moving on to some specific things we may see this week. We are using the Neo Tarot. I feel like I'm gonna take that Ace of Swords because you want it to come out. And then the same cards just popped out. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords, the Hermit, the High Priestess, the Sun card, and then the Ten of Wands reverse. So we have three major arcana cards. Okay, just starting there. So there's major themes, major aspects, not like specific things which I asked for in a sense, right? This is like overarching energy right now. Okay, and based on the Ace of Swords being the first cards and all the cards we have after that, and then the Ten of Wands reverse, which is about like overwork or working hard or like perseverance and energy like that. There's definite energy of change. Okay, there's definitely a need for you to make a change and go after, like go after something to do something that is freer, that makes you happier, that is more joyous, or something that you get to excel at, or like put yourself on a platform with, or like it's very palpable in here. The change to me comes from the Ace of Swords, of there being a need for decisive action, a need for decisive thoughts and planning and change. The Hermit and the High Priestess give introspection. Both of these cards are about like going inward, okay, and finding the answers within you, and finding the direction within you, and understanding from silence, from introspection, from meditation, from um you know um quiet contemplation, or journaling, or talking to yourself, and figuring out yourself, and really knowing who you are and honoring who you are, and sitting with the things that in your mind's eye, as well as the things tangibly, and believing the things that to take you to this place. Okay, because very clearly people are tired, and this doesn't have to just be work, but people are tired of feeling overwhelmed, overworked, like you're doing backbreaking labor, like you're constantly overburdened or tired, or in whatever fucking situation this is. Okay, and there very clearly is a way that you can take you out of this, but you have to sit with you have to go inside, right? You have to take out all the external bullshit, all the loud noise, all of the other opinions or whatever it is, and really like sit within yourself. And this is not about isolation. This is about like getting to the root of yourself, getting to the root of you, and like sitting with what you know and how you know it and how it comes to you, so that you can recognize it in a way. So in a more specific way, there's energy for you to just be this week. Like there's need for you to sit with yourself. There's a need for you to take time with yourself. There's a need for you to either meditate or to journal or to like sit and and gaze at something, you know what I mean? Or like just to kind of settle in to yourself, there's specific energy of you making plans, of you having ideas, of you being decisive, of you needing to make decisions, of you needing to have actionable thoughts and like honor um the ways in which you feel and think and the things that come up. Okay, the Sun card is about breaking through and being free, and especially with it next to the Ten of Wands, like I said, it's like breaking out of something that's holding you back, breaking out of something that's too much for you, breaking out of something that's overwhelming, overburdening. It's like it's causing you to carry too much, right? Your intuition may be super high this week. Your spiritual gifts, your knowing, the spiritual things that come to you, like all of that is amplified with the High Priestess card here. And then again, like I said, with the Hermit, this is to me about being able to sit with yourself, to figure things out, to then go out and take that further, or to share it with the masses, or because that's part of what the Hermit card is about. The Hermit went and got the light or the knowledge to take it back, you know and so part of it is about illuminating things for yourself and helping you find answers this week, and helping you be able to see things in a certain way, or to recognize certain things, and to mix that with the intuitive knowledge that you have, so that you can move forward. Okay, so again, very specific overall, but like I hope it makes a lot of sense to y'all. Okay, and I hope that throughout this week it begins to make even more sense. So this is what we're getting for the specific things. Let's move into your self-care for this week. Okay, so starting with make a vision board, which is what you chose. Let's see what other self-care is best. Oh, y'all, that was too many damn cards. Let's shuffle. Okay. Okay. Chanting. Sweet treat and massage. Starting with make a vision board. So part of the best self-care for you this week has to do with being able to visualize the things that you could possibly want, or visualize like the life that you want to lead, or visualize the things that you want to bring into you, or the ways in which you want to change, and being able to like find things that relate to that resonate, that help you see that, putting affirmations or like words that help you draw in or bring that energy, or be able to conjure that image or that feeling up in your mind, so that you can bring that in and manifest it in your life. And so right now it's time for you to dream. When you get through and you sit with your intuition and you sit with what you actually want, with like the energy of the Hermit and the High Priestess, what comes out of that is what you would then go and find, pictures and words that match with, and actually do this so that you can really bring in some of that energy. I feel like this is partially for me. I definitely need to make a vision board. So we're doing that to like make this shit tangible and real, and to be able to see it every day, and to have it like really resonate with us, so again it can be manifested. Okay, the next self-care you have for this week is chanting. Chanting, to me, is very much about alignment. It's about release. It's about getting out of your head and into your body. It's about feeling. There's different things that you can chant. There are things that you can find like on YouTube or on whatever music service that you use, or you could just, chant or hum whatever comes to you, whatever feels good, and allow it to move through your body. Allow it to help you connect, like I said, to release what you need to align in the ways you need to. Like, chanting is so good for your overall, and I feel like um there are ways in which we need to be more in resonance with vibration right now, especially for all the things that are going on, and to kind of, in some cases, for some people, um, cleanse ourselves and ground ourselves, and chanting is a great way to do that. Okay, so definitely try to use that this week. We have sweet treat, which I feel like speaks for itself. Okay, we need to indulge sometimes. We need to live. We need to give ourselves things that feel good, and take moments to just enjoy the things that feel good. And so I think it's okay to, every once in a while, if we're not going overboard, or like, we're not eating shit that's counter to our health. Like, we literally have, you don't want to eat too much sugar if you have diabetes, or, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay to indulge in a sweet treat. And this week, it feels like you will definitely need it. And it's something that would be, again, helpful to help you get back into your body, or to just enjoy something and get out of your head, and to like ground into yourself, right? This is not just like grabbing a cupcake and running out the door. This would be like sitting, and with every bite you're just eating and just thinking about how good it is, and getting something that you really really enjoy and love. It's like, it's similar to me to like, if you had like a cheat day, and you wouldn't just get any meal as your cheat meal. You would get the thing that you really want, or the thing that that you really enjoy. So like, this is part of this energy this week, to help balance some of the things that we may be moving through in the other cards that we talked about. And then the next thing you have is massage. And again, I think it's pretty self explanatory that there is energy that needs to be released within us right now. With all three of these cards, especially, there's this energy that needs to be released. There might be a tightness in you. You might be stressed out or overwhelmed. You may need a lymphatic massage. You may just need moments of relaxation and feel good. And so, like, I feel like the massage with the sweet treat comes up in the same of like, you need to bring in things this week that make you feel good, that are not things you can rush through. It should be something that is something that you like sit with, and you take time to do, and take time away from other things to do, and is relaxing and meditative and grounding and calming, to again kind of be counter to some of those other energies that we're dealing with this week. So this is what I have for y'all for your self-care for this week. And this was your reading pile too. So thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm so glad you're here. Please let me know how your week is, how this makes sense, how you see things happen as you go through your week. If you would like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following the channel, follow me. If you aren't already subscribed to Tiny Musings with T on Substack, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, definitely go subscribe. Get our March Tiny Collective reading, part 1. Part 2 comes out in a couple of days. If you're not already following me on Instagram or on TikTok, follow me at Tiny Divinations. And again, thank you so much for being here, for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile 3. Let's get into your cards. So The card that you chose was music. This is actually one of your self-cares for this week, so we will get into that later. Let's get into the cards for your energy of the week. So, the first card you have is Triumphant Success, and the next card you have is Wisdom. So, very clearly, these to me are positive cards. It feels like you know the way ahead. Like these cards definitely give like a path illuminated. It's funny because that keeps coming up in each pile in different ways. But it feels like there is something that you're either trying, something that you're starting, something that you want to start planning. And you are either in the phases of researching it or starting to like write down the plan or type out the plan or whatever it is. You may be about to like venture on a journey or um, actually like put the the plan that you have into action. There's also energy this week of like understanding something, or like I said, understanding the way forward, or finding a solution, or finding information that helps you to um, get more into something, or to be able to start something, or to um, like get further into something or something like that. There's energy of there being some people finding teachers this week, or something to do with education, or you sharing information or teaching other people. You starting to like look into teaching, or look into like creating a lesson plan in some people's cases, or starting to like get into what you would share or what you would teach or what you want to learn or what you want to research. So all of this energy is there for that. And again, it's like there's definitely a newness and a beginning here. You have a 1 and a 5. You have this person in this card. There's like literally they're leaving the home. There's this path that they're going on. So it feels like there are people that are like specifically um, energy to start new things. Like I said, wanting to start new things or literally starting new things this week. So let's get some more cards to see a little bit more of the energy for your week. Okay, so continuing with the Psychic Tarot, let's get some more cards. Oh, well, those are too many cards, y'all. Come on. I'll take this one. We have the Crown Chakra. Okay. Firm foundations. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, solar plexus. Okay, so again, like I said, there's energy for things to be illuminated for you this week. There's energy for you to get information. With the crown chakra specifically, there's energy for that information to be like imprinted, or it to be like channeled, or for it to deal with like your psychic senses, or come from like a celestial place, or you know what I mean, like for it to come in like a spiritual kind of way, you know what I mean, because we have the crown chakra card. But again, because we have the wisdom card, it just doubles down on that knowledge, on that understanding, on that receiving information or clarity, or having things illuminated to you or shown to you, or have it be guided, or divinely anointed, or you know what I mean, like in some way. Then you have the firm foundation card. And to me, part of what people may be wanting to start, like I said, you may be at the ground level with it, right? It may be very beginner stages. It may be that you're trying to lay the groundwork for something, to build something up. It may be that you're at the beginner stages of it. It may be for some people that you're making investments. It may be for some people that it's a matter of like putting in a certain amount of work to get something done. So all of this comes up. It also could be that what you're working on or what you're trying to do could be giving you like long-term stability or long-term prosperity, or like be something that is supposed to last for a while. We have the mountain in this card. We have like what it seems to be like the Colosseum. So it's something that is tangible but lasting. You know what I mean? And it feels like that's what you're working. So either that's what you're trying to work on, or what you're working on. Is there's the energy that it could be. Okay. There's the energy for some people taking it separately, that's something that you could be working on, could give this, like, you may not realize it, but it could be building the foundations for something that you will do for a long time, or something that like I said is an investment. Okay. And then you have the solar plexus card. And so first of all, we have two chakra cards. So if you are somebody who works with chakras, you may want to work with these two chakras specifically in whatever ways you would normally work with them, whether that would be, I'm not even going to tell you how to. You have the chakra crown, excuse me, you have the crown chakra card. So I want you to feel into what that would look like. And with the solar plexus card, I want you to feel confident that that's what you should be doing. So I don't want to lead. I want you to feel into it. Use your intuition. Okay. But the solar plexus card also having to do with the energy of us being confident, of us feeling successful, of us believing in ourselves, of us believing in our skills and what we know, us believing that like the path and the way forward is available to us. The solar plexus also has to do with like your gut, in terms of what we were talking about, psychic senses and clairs. And so having the knowing in your gut, and your like your what am I trying to say, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like have like sit lead having your gut lead the way, right? So like having your inner knowing lead the way this week, as well as having your gut lead the way. So both of those things are your inner knowing. So it's like the things in your mind's eye, and the feeling in your stomach kind of thing, and moving from those things to work with the rest of this energy this week. So this is what we have for the energy of your week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so using the Neo Tarot to look into some specific things that may happen for pile 3 this week. Okay, let's turn you around. Okay, the Empress, the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Emperor, and the World card. Okay, so when I first pulled this, the Emperor was reversed. I mean, excuse me, the Empress was reversed, but I turned her over, and I'm actually going to turn her back over. Because that's just what I'm feeling with the rest of these cards. I feel like she should have been like that. I shouldn't have turned her over. I apologize. So getting into these cards, number one, the first thing my eye is drawn to is this Four of Pentacles. And the first thing I think is that sometimes holding on to shit too tightly that is no longer serving you, or that you no longer need, or that you shouldn't be holding on to, can definitely put you in a fucked up situation, or can definitely work out not to your advantage or in your favor. It can leave you in either a situation where you're dealing with people that are like shady or not great or out for themselves. You could wind up being that person because these people have the same outfit on. Okay, so you could wind up being that person that consciously or unconsciously winds up hurting, or somehow fucking over another person in the midst of you trying to acquire too much, or hold on to everything, or just thinking about yourself or money or something like that. And this could be flipped in the sense that like you could be dealing with somebody that's like that and could wind up being hurt in the situation. So all of that, just keep in mind this week. Okay. Especially if you are feeling like situations are too good to be true, or there's something like it's a good situation, but there's something intuitively that comes up for you that you're like, I don't know about this, yada, 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 like pay attention to that so that you don't wind up in this situation, right? We need to be very actionable and decisive this week. We need to be very pragmatic in terms of the emperor. That's part of the energy that I get with the emperor. It's about like being able to weigh all the things, being able to make the best decisions for everybody involved, not just yourself. Okay, the emperor also has to do with like action energy, with being able to go, with being able to do shit, with being able to make decisions, with being able to like pull the trigger kind of energy is what I get from this. Also, it feels like the Empress card, like it feels like this week is not necessarily a week to like create for you, or like to try to make something happen, or to like get some shit this week, or you know what I mean. So like for example, if you were like oh, I saw this thing and I'm gonna put all my money down on it. It's like that. This is not the week for that necessarily. You know what I mean? I feel like this is more, especially if you look at like this person is in stasis. They're not moving, right? They're like balanced or sitting on this thing. This person is just standing in one place. You have this person kind of like walking away, being removed from. You have this person sitting, and then this person kind of like floating in one space in space. Okay. So it's not really about like moving a whole lot this week. If it's actionary, it's about like planning, making decisions, like, mental action and movement. You know what I mean? As less than it is about physical action and movement, it feels like. Um, and with the like I said, but the Empress reverse, it just feels like it's not a time to reap or to birth or to like um have things come together in the way that you may want them to. It's more about like being discerning and standing in your power and being able to like follow your own rules and regulations and to set them, and being able to like say no, or to create a actionable plan, and to be able to follow it, and share it with other people so that it makes sense to them and they could follow it as well. Like that's part of the energy that the emperor brings up in terms of specific energies for us. This could be, like I said, you, and this could also be the energy of like some kind of authority figure or somebody that has that kind of personality coming through, and being part of the energy that specifically that like you deal with them this week, or that's part of some of these other things that we have going on this week. We have the world card next to that, so like again, it feels like this may be somebody that comes in or comes up or that you deal with, or that's very like crucial to your week in a sense. It may be somebody that causes you to like use your discernment, or to take stock, or to um move in the ways that like they're guiding you to move, or you know what I mean, like that may be part of it. It doesn't seem like this person has anything to do with these more nefarious things. So yeah, it just seems like they're kind of separate from that. And then you have the world card. The world card, especially after the emperor card, feels like a certain sense of like liberation or power that you feel from owning your power in the emperor card, right? From being able to not hold on to things so tightly, or being able to like move from situations that may be hurtful, and like owning what happened, your part in it, and like the clarity and the like comfort that comes from being able to move from that place, in like a place of growth, or a place of like higher understanding, or you know what I mean. Like I feel like that's part of what comes with the world card. The world card is also like these fixed energies, so again it doubles down for me. You owning your shit, you owning your thoughts, your words, your feelings, your actions, and you being very deliberate about the things that you say, like you following your own rules this week, um and you setting your boundaries and putting certain things in place. The world card is also about like celebrating your success and your accomplishments, or like getting to the end of something. So there may be something that people finish or complete this week. It may be you just being able to look around and like recognize how much you've grown, or how much you have made happen, or the ways in which you have even just been able to navigate this week. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm getting from the specific things that we have for your week. Let's move into the self care. So, starting with the card you chose, we have music. Let's get a few more self care cards. Okay, let's take this one. We're going to take these two. Boom. Okay, so we have music, intuition, rest, and build strength. Okay, so starting with music, it feels like the music that you play, especially this week, is really important in terms of the vibration or the resonance that it brings. So, align the music that you're listening to with the ways that you want to feel more than the ways that you may actually feel right now, right? So, like, for example, if you were somebody that was going through a breakup, don't listen to, try not to listen to, I should say, this is a suggestion, of course, try not to listen to a whole bunch of like sad love songs, right? Instead, you'd listen to songs that were like empowering or about like, um, being good after a breakup or getting over somebody or something like that kind of energy. You know what I mean? So it's like put in the energy of the things that you want to feel, put in like affirmation music, put in music that makes you feel good, put in, like gospel music or things that are have an uplifting energy. It could be dance, it could be house, like things that just make your body feel good, bring your energy up, bring your emotions up, like bring a certain vibration to you. Okay. I feel like it's really about kind of adding in the energy that you want to feel and that flowing throughout you. Like what I kept coming to with this card is like her body is the rainbow in a sense. You know what I mean? It's like wrapped all around her from her head and then, the rest of her body. And these people are also playing instruments. So if you're somebody who has an instrument, if you have a tambourine, if you have a drum, if you have a flute, if you have a guitar or a tiny piano or whatever it is, definitely get back to that. I personally, a couple of days ago, played my sound bowls for the first time in forever, and it just felt so good. And I was like, why haven't I been doing this? I'm going to make sure I start incorporating this. So like that feels like also part of the energy that comes in with the music card. Then we have intuition. So part of the self-care we have for this week with the intuition is sitting with the things that come up, sitting with the things that you know, even if you don't know how you know them. Okay. Like believing the things that come up, using your third eye, relying on your senses and the things that you intuit through your body, and through your auric field. It's about like really listening and knowing how you hear things and being able to believe yourself when you get these intuitions. You know what I mean? Knowing within getting this card that you have these intuitive thoughts or feelings, or, however it comes through to you. So being more mindful this week of the ways in which it comes through or what comes up, how you receive what comes up, if there is a pattern or something that you can recognize. I wrote a book called Intuitive Teas that you can buy on wildheartbotanica.com. It's a digital journal for you to be able to write down all of the receipts and the things that come up, the things that you intuit, so that you can go back to it, so that you have receipts of your magic, so that you can start to believe yourself as things happen. Because you may not think about it at the time, but if you have a space to write it down, then when you go back to it, you can remind yourself just how psychic or, intuitive or powerful you actually are. So these are some of the ways in which you can work with your intuition. We then have rest, and I feel like rest is an integral part of working with your intuition and being able to believe the things that you hear or see, or that you say that aren't necessarily from you. You know what I mean? Rest is a huge part of that. It also feels like just in general, because like we had the music encompassing the body, there is something within your body that needs rest, because we have the music that encompasses the body and then the building strength. So there's a lot, and then even within the intuition, we have multiple bodies. So there's something within like working with your body or within your own health that also is going to be strengthened from taking the time to rest. And that could look like sleep. Rest could look like just turning your brain off or being able to reset, or being able to like ground yourself, or, you know, not talking or getting away from a screen, or you know what I mean, just like coming back in and allowing things to slow down and to quiet down. Okay. And then you have build strength. So I feel like build strength is pretty self-explanatory, but similar to the body work that we were talking about. It's time to move your body. It's time to feel strong in your body. It's time to again, like own your power and remember your power, or to see how strong you can be, to see how you can reach goals, to see how it strengthens with the third eye in this card as well as this one, to see how it strengthens your intuition, to see how it helps you connect, to see how it helps you streamline some messages, or be able to receive things more easily, or to understand them more clearly. Because we have the build strength with the music, you may want to do some kind of dance or some kind of like exercise that has music and, you know, as a part of the class. Like it makes me think of like the music they play with the Peloton, or how I use Nike Training app, which is a free app, and some of the classes have music that you can, that it's already in the background, I should say. But then also with the app, you can, if you have Apple Music, you can add your own playlist and play them in the background as you use whatever the class is. Or it also makes me think of like the, you know, those step classes where it's like you're like moving really fast and there's a lot of music, or like yoga with music, or whatever it is, whatever kind of a workout you're doing, you may want to add music to it. And like I said, if you are, you know, starting to work out or adding more in, make sure you're getting your rest, and pay attention to how it correlates with your intuition and the things that you pick up or the things that come through this week. So this is what I have for you for your self-care for the week, pile 3. And this was your reading. So thank y'all so much for being with me. Thank you for reading with me. I hope all of this makes sense. I hope that as you go through your week, you can see how these things come up, or you can come back and feel validated at the end of the week when you watch the reading. If you would like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following me, follow the channel. If you aren't already subscribed to the podcast, Tiny Musings with T, you can subscribe on Substack or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We have our part 1 of our March collective reading out right now. Part 2 comes out in a couple of days. If you aren't already following me, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And yes, I thank y'all so much again for being with me. If you have another pile, I will see you there. And if not, I will see you in our next reading.